Fasten your seatbelts. It's going to be a bumpy night.
But tell me, Eddie, is that a rabbit in your pocket or you're just happy to see me?
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another solo stream. So basically surprised I was able to do this because it's just been crazy over here, helping my parents for their kitchen renovation, and I thought I might not be able to do it today because the appliances were being delivered today. So guess who had to be available just in case there was anything went wrong or whatever? Me. But luckily everything was delivered well before I normally start the stream, so I'm able to do this. And I know I said that I was planning on playing Dead by Daylight this afternoon on Kick, but I think I'm just going to play the X Defiant beta again because primarily because I'm very tired. I am very tired, and so from what little I played of Dead by Daylight through my PlayStation, it does require a bit of concentration, which I do not really have right now. And it's a little bit easier jumping into a random lobby and shooting random players than watching for the killer and making sure you don't screw up fixing a gen sort of situation. So I'm going to kind of wait until I'm a little bit more awake to be able to do that, or at least play Dead by Daylight. And then my plan is, let's see. My plan is next week to do the stream in the Wonder Woman bikini. What day it will be, I don't know. I'll figure something out. I'll most likely do it when it's a Kick stream, not a Twitch stream. So it'll either be Sunday evening, roughly, or afternoon, I should say, or afternoon, because, like D&D, we're taking a break until July 2nd, so I'll have Sunday afternoon free. Monday evening, or I don't want to do it Friday because I do afternoon streams on Friday. So it'll either be Sunday, Monday, or a week from tomorrow, pretty much, when I do it. But I want to do it when I'm doing a Kick stream. Just not on Friday because I typically stream in the early afternoon. But anyway, before I say hello to the chats, the topics I have, first time in a while that I can think of where I'm actually bringing up Kathleen Kennedy, but I wanted to go into the article where she has the balls to say that it's entirely possible for Phoebe Waller-Bridge to take over Indiana Jones franchise. Not only is would pretty much no one want, or at least no legitimate fan would ever want, but there's no way you can do that within the Indiana Jones IP because it's not like, okay, I'm going to trigger Rhino now. It's not like Star Wars, right, where the expanded universe proved that you could focus on other characters outside the original, basically trinity of characters: Luke Skywalker, Princess Leia, and Han Solo, right? You showed that other characters could carry on the legacy through the expanded universe. However, the big difference between that IP and the Indiana Jones one is that the fucking name is the main character. Indiana Jones. How do you have an Indiana Jones franchise without Indiana Jones? Is beyond fucking me. How she, the fact is, it's like both ballsy and stupid for her to say that. Pretty much. And I'm not planning on watching Indy 5. I'm not planning on watching, at least, let's put it this way, I'm not planning on seeing it in theaters. I might see it out of morbid curiosity sailing the high seas, but for the most part, really not planning on watching it. So we have that article on Bounding into Comics, and then another one on Bounding into Comics, where you have Magic the Gathering, Lord of the Rings, all right, that whole expansion set, senior art director defending the race swapping they did in that set, pretty much. Defending the race swapping, so we're going to go into that shit. And finally, an article through the Gamer, talking about Final Fantasy XVI's queer rep is great, but it could have been better. And I'm going to preface this by saying, I really don't fucking care if there are queer characters at all, gay, what have you. I really don't care. They've been a staple in games for decades. People like Jade King, who wrote the article through the Gamer, want to ignore the LGBTQ representation that has been in games for decades. They want to ignore that. So I don't really care. All right. However, the fact that they are saying it could be better, it's like, that's the cringe elements to it. That's the cringe element to it, because it's not enough for these people. It's really not fucking enough for these people. Like, again, I don't care about the sexuality of the characters as long as it's not the forefront of the characterization. All right, as long as the character is good, who happens to be gay or bisexual or what have you, I really do not care. I do not care about the sexuality, but the fact that you have the gamer going, but it could be better. You know, you have that royal but. All right, it's good, but I like it, but that whole stupidity. All right, so we're gonna go into that. I'm going to kind of go left to right, so the Final Fantasy article will be last, pretty much. But from the top, I see Vader Fanatic. Hello, good to see you. Yeah, I'm thinking we're back. Yes, we are back, Riker. Good to see you. Trey, hope you're ready for the cringe. Brightest Day, what's up? Let's go. Mr. Bentham, happy Friday to you as well. And yes, I am 24 away from 200 on Kick, which I will be there in about shortly after this stream ends. So come hang out then. That is my Kick there. Dave Myers, hello. First one of these I'm going to hear in real time. And thank you for thinking I'm the best. I try. That's all I can say, pretty much. I'm just giving my opinion when it comes to pop culture and social commentary. So, try to be, I rip into both sides, pretty much. Citizen Ronan, hello. Good to see you. Beta ends at 2 a.m. Yeah. So, I might play again offline later tonight. But we'll see. But like I said, it's easier, given how tired I am, just to jump into random lobbies with a pew-pew type game versus needing to basically concentrate when it comes to Dead by Daylight. I do not have the mental fortitude right now. She definitely does. Or at least she hates what he stands for. And I'm not saying that I don't agree with his politics or anything, but the fact that he created these stories without really any agenda, or at least blatant agenda or anything like that to them, just told decent stories with decent characters. Like, she must hate because she's all about the message. She's not about the story. She's all about the message. So if she doesn't hate George Lucas, she at least hates that aspect of him. So I, for the most part, didn't mind the Young Indiana Jones series. It was fine for what it is, but the thing about it that was made it fine, as opposed to what the stupidity she's saying, is it's Indiana Jones. All right, they didn't focus on some random character that Indiana Jones happened to know or be related to. No, it was Indiana Jones. It's just a younger version of him. I really didn't mind that. But the fact that she thinks another character that no one likes or even cares about could carry on the franchise is just mind-bogglingly retarded. Lord of the Rings, yes. I don't care if you're gay, just try and make me care. Just don't try and make me care that you're gay. Yes, that's what I'm saying. I'm prefacing that article with, I don't care about the character's sexuality as long as the characters themselves are good. But the fact that it could be better, according to the gamer, it's the gamer. This is my Twitch. Yeah, I try to do 1 or 2 streams a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays, in my main channel. So yeah, and plus retarded teammates. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, so don't want to deal with that. But anyway, so I'm going to cover the Indiana Jones article first because it is a bit more recent than the Magic the Gathering one. So I'm going to go to the Kathleen Kennedy one, then the Magic the Gathering, and then the Gamer. I will give you that. If anything, it should be his son. I will give you that. Because that's what people expected. Not saying that people liked Shia LaBeouf's character in Crystal Skull, but that would have been the legacy that people would expect carrying on the Indiana Jones name, pretty much. But his goddaughter, that's what she's supposed to be, his goddaughter. Now, the thing is about Shia LaBeouf's characterization in Crystal Skull. My sister said this, and I agree with it. We talked about this when Crystal Skull was released. His son should have been more like Henry Jones Sr. I almost said Indiana Jones Sr., but Henry Jones Sr., Sean Connery's character that we've seen Last Crusade. The son should have been more like his grandfather, because it would be more believable for him to already have the brains, all right? The brains, the intellect, and so forth, and find his bravery versus be a rebel without a clue. And okay, you didn't even finish school, so how are you going to learn all this? Pretty much, is there basically great Treasure Hunting for Dummies, Idiot's Guide to Archaeology. Like, what? But it should be his son. A better characterization of his son, but it should be his son. So, hey, Sultan. But anyway, so let me just share this screen. All right. Come on, StreamYard, you piece of shit. You finally saw Temple of Doom and Last Crusade last month. What did you think of them? Because Temple of Doom is considered the weakest. It's considered the weakest of the original trilogy. And my favorite pretty much is Last Crusade. But anyway. Alright, so here it is. Lucasfilm President Kathleen Kennedy says, quote, "It's entirely possible," unquote, "for Phoebe Waller-Bridge, box office poison that she is, to take over Indiana Jones franchise. Never mind that the franchise is named after the main character." So you can't exactly have an Indiana Jones, continuing the Indiana Jones franchise without Indiana Jones, or at the very least, a direct descendant of his, because we already saw his son. Can't carry that on with a fucking goddaughter that no one gives a shit about. But anyway, moving on. So Lucasfilm President Kathleen Kennedy recently admitted that it's entirely possible that Phoebe Waller-Bridge's character Helena Shaw could take over the Indiana Jones franchise. Kennedy spoke with Variety about the upcoming Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny film, where she was asked if Disney and Lucasfilm see potential for Phoebe Waller-Bridge and her character Helena Shaw to carry on the franchise. The fact that the interviewer even went that direction tells me that there's already a narrative they were going to push. The fact that that was even a fucking question tells me that they already planned a narrative around it. Because no legitimate fan in their right mind would even ask that fucking question. Kennedy informed the outlet that it's entirely possible. However, she also added, "We're not having any of those conversations right now. We're just focused on finishing this with Harrison." Kennedy's comments come after numerous rumors claim that Phoebe Waller-Bridge's character would replace Harrison Ford's Indiana Jones by the end of Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. Is this Doomcock, Overlord Doomcock? I don't believe a damn thing Kathleen Kennedy says. I don't believe a damn thing Kathleen Kennedy says, because this is the same woman who lied through her teeth when George Lucas basically signed over the Lucasfilm to her as president, when she said that she was going to honor the legacy that he created. So I don't believe a damn thing she says. So when I don't focus on finishing this with Harrison, I think like she already is spinning this in her mind, continuing it with possibly continuing it with Phoebe Waller-Bridge. Yeah, just showing lip service. Okay, back in June 2021, YouTuber Overlord Doomcuck shared that a number of his Hollywood spies informed him that that two endings are supposedly being considered in this script. I guess they've been written and they are going to shoot both of them. Both endings allegedly have old Indiana Jones dying at the end of this movie. I'm gonna wait for spoilers to see if that's actually true before I even give this movie a time of day, even to Sail the High Seas. I'm going to wait full on for spoilers before I remotely do anything. Because one, I don't trust in anything Doomcuck says, because he's been proven to be pretty much a grifter. All right, he's been proven pretty much to be a grifter, and constantly gets information wrong. And whenever he does get information right, conveniently, he pulls the same information that's already been leaked by other sources. Pretty much. But according to his sources. So, I'm waiting. Regardless, I'm waiting. The leaks are true? Fucking hell. According to Chris Gore, I would trust. So he's saying the leaks are true? Fucking Christ. Now, I know that Harrison Ford can't exactly continue this franchise because he's like at least 80. At least 80. He was either born in 1941 or 1942 or thereabouts. He's like around 80 years old. So he's not exactly going to continue this franchise. But having him die at the end? Yeah, KK is almost out, guys. Meanwhile, 10 years later, yeah. But in one of the rumored endings, young Indiana Jones dies alongside old Indiana Jones, and Phoebe Waller-Bridge swoops in like a vulture, picks the hat up, and takes his place moving forward, he adds. If either is true, like the leaks are true, and that like that shit happens, and I watch it, I will literally punch my monitor. I will punch my monitor. I would rather watch Crystal Skull again than this shit. And I'm not a fan of Crystal Skull. In September 2021, the Daily Mail reported Phoebe Waller-Bridge is being tipped to replace the veteran actor as a female version of the fictional professor of archaeology in the adventure movie franchise. An anonymous source told the Daily Mail's show business editor Katie Hine about the rumor. It would be a huge statement and a great role for Phoebe. What statement? Oh, I know what statement that is. All right. What's that fucking stupid line from Last Jedi? Like about killing the past. That is that the statement they want to fucking make? Killing the past? Is that the great huge statement they want to make? Hey, gaming. Is that the huge statement? Because the fact that like the leaks are true and Indiana Jones dies, that like that literally is killing the past. Kill it if you have to. You are killing the past. Another source stated the gossip on the set is that this character will slot into the leading role. Overlord Doomcuck then followed up his initial rumor, sharing another one in November 2022, claiming the film actually had 6 endings. He relayed, "We've been told out of the 6 endings they tested, the best one gets a 35% approval from test audiences. We've been told that Bridge put the hat on in every ending," he added. Overlord Doomcuck then clarified, "All my spies actually said it was Phoebe Waller-Bridge puts on Indy's hat, takes Indy's whip, and in a brave and stunning display of girl power, she becomes the bestest Indy ever at the end of all 6 versions of the movie." She's not even attractive. How is this fucking woman popular? She's not even attractive. She looks like a fucking bird. She looks like a bird. Not like one of those like pretty birds, but like one of those like scrawny birds you see like with the long legs, just like just pecking the ground. That's what she looks like. And I think she's involved with Tomb Raider as well, or at least that's the rumor going around. She's involved with Tomb Raider. She's gonna kill 2 IPs. The film's director, James Mangold, denied the rumors in December. He wrote, "One more time, no one was taking over or replacing Indy or donning his hat, nor is he being erased through some contrivance. And he never was, not in any cut or script, but trolls will troll. That's how they get their clicks." Well, according to Chris Gore, the leaks are true. And this is a dude who attacked people that were criticizing shit like initially about what was going on with Indy 5. All right, so he attacked people on Twitter. And apparently he's apparently been tapped to make a Star Wars film. He continued, "And please don't exhaust me pointing out how once in a while a troll is right. Even a blind squirrel finds a nut now and then. All one has to do is look at set photos and interviews and you get enough info to make wild guesses about a movie plot. The difference between trolling assholes and everyone else is they are trying to make money off your feelings about other films and culture war politics. They push controversial guesses as coming from sources to get up clicks. Let's go end," he concluded. Well, that sums up Doomcuck right there. Yeah, fucking hell. She's British, though. Well, yeah. Well, no wonder she's ugly. No offense to Sprue. Hey, Hassan. Good to see you. He's also doing the swamp thing. However, this denial was called into question when the film's composer, John Williams, shared less than 2 weeks later that the film had another ending to shoot and to record, maybe in a couple weeks. Mangold attempted to refute Williams' comments, first writing, "John was mistaken, maybe read Twitter too much." He then declared, "We're not shooting new endings, never did. This film is 99% finished and being rated by MPAA." Well, like, just because it's 99% finished doesn't mean like reshoots don't happen. They've basically had films. they've had films essentially finished in the past and had to go back and do reshoots because the studio didn't like it. It got tested poorly with test audiences. You fucking name it. Films have been done pretty much in the past. All right. And they've had to go back and do reshoots. Justice League, Suicide Squad. It happens. It fucking happens. So for him to say, we're not shooting new endings, it's just it's 99% finished. Is it like, no, like, he's smoking don't smoke crack, kids, because that's what he's fucking smoking. Hey, Hound. Good morning. Or afternoon. It's afternoon now. Mangold then concluded, this imagined zany ending with Indy being erased and replaced is a fever dream of wounded folks angry about other films I did not make. All right. I'm not going to. However, when asked for clarification on Williams' comments, Mangold answered, joking, mistaking, or misinformed, not happening. However, when further pressed on the issue, Mangold claimed Williams was fully informed just after claiming he was either joking, mistaken, or misinformed. He tweeted, I agree that he's one of the greatest composers in the history of film and also one of the most lovely people on earth, and he's fully informed. All right, I'm going to scratch James Mangold off of the list of directors that I even remotely respect. He did one film that I liked, Logan. And I thought, he's decent. He could go places in Hollywood. He's good. But let's scratch him off that fucking list right now. You know what's ironic about this statement, Dave? What's ironic about the statement is that the Ripley character was actually intended to be a male character in the original script. When the auditions were happening for the casting for Alien, Ripley was supposed to be male. But Sigourney Weaver wowed the casting director and so forth with her audition that they actually changed the sex of the character from male to female. And because the character was well written, it didn't matter. Maybe change some nuances here and there, all right? Maybe change a little bit of nuances here and there, but for the most part, because the character was well written enough that it didn't matter if it was male or female, that's what happened. So, Ripley was actually intended to be male initially. I'm not saying I would accept a reboot with a male actor necessarily, because you do not replace Ellen Ripley, in my opinion. But they're like just the irony there, knowing that trivia about the movie. Mangold's denials would be further called into question after Harrison Ford recently admitted to Spanish-language Espinoff that the last thing he did on the film was to work on the ending. He told the outlet, we did a little work on the ending, which is the last thing I shot with Karen Allen, who has been in a substantial part of the whole thing, but appears in the story only briefly at the end, with a very strong emotional hook. I felt nostalgia, a sense of accomplishment. I'm proud of the film, happy with the film. Every good thing, there comes a right time to go on something else. I really enjoyed the process of making this film. I'm very happy with it, so I left the set that day content. He's probably content because, 1, he doesn't have to do it anymore. 2, he doesn't have to deal with Lucasfilm. And 3, he's just done. He's just done. Yeah, Ripley was originally intended to be male. So, yeah. All right, well, I'm not going to bother going into this. Like, the whole thing of her even remotely, saying it's entirely possible for Phoebe Waller-Bridge to take over a franchise that's named after the main character is just retarded. It's just mind-bogglingly retarded. The only legacy I would accept if the character had been better written in Crystal Skull would be his son. That would make more fucking sense than some random goddaughter that no one fucking cares about and just being introduced in the film, and you're supposed to accept her at the end of the day as the replacement for Indiana Jones. Hello, Lindsay. Good to see you. Exactly. Like I said, even though Ripley was intended to be male, you can't replace Ellen Ripley. Like you think of Alien and Aliens and things like that, you think Ellen Ripley. Just like Ash Williams for Evil Dead. Like, there is no way that you could not think of Evil Dead and not think of Ash Williams. So, hey, Charlie. But like I said, it's just she's the goddaughter. She's the goddaughter. That's it. Like she's being introduced and replacing him in the same fucking film. Meanwhile, if this character had been better written, and his son was introduced in Crystal Skull, and we would have been I'm not saying we would have necessarily liked it necessarily, but we would have more accepted that because it would have made sense legacy-wise for the son to carry on as opposed to some chick that we have not even met yet. I think she's supposed to be his goddaughter. I mean, I'm not sure, like, Indy's old, so imagine that, would make sense. Because I think Phoebe Waller-Bridge, but she's in the 30s or something like that. I have no idea, and I really don't care. But like he in the trailer he talks about how he knew her father because at one point her father accidentally shot Indiana Jones because he was like in the trailer he says I've been shot 9 times, once by your father. So he knew her father, and I guess her father asked him to be godfather to her. I don't know. Short Round would have even worked better. Focus on him. So, yeah, but there it is. Just stupid. Mind-bogglingly retarded to even entertain that thought. It's just wow. But anyway, let's talk some Magic the Gathering, shall we? Because you have this senior art director, defending the Raceswaps in the Lord of the Rings expansion for Magic the Gathering. All right. Now, I don't know if any of you play Magic the Gathering. I never got into playing that game. I'm more D&D, but they introduced people who've been following this, like such as myself, I've known that they were going to pull this shit for months now. Even before outlets started talking about it a couple months back, pretty much. We knew that was the plan. All right. So they're defending now the race swapping. So Aragorn has been race swapped. Eowyn has been race swapped. Galadriel has been race swapped. I believe Gandalf also has been race swapped. They kept the bad guys white. Even though it was the I believe it's the Easterlings. They believe the card was the Easterlings, and they actually look Asian. They actually made the bad guys white, even though the Easterlings look more Asiatic in features. So they basically whitewashed an Asian race, essentially, in Middle Earth. Go fucking figure. No, that's Aragorn. That's Aragorn in that boat. And no, I saw that. I'm not gonna read it. So here it is. Magic the Gathering, Lord of the Rings, Tales of Middle Earth, senior art director Ovidio Cartagena, I have no idea, Ovidio, defended the game's race swapping of numerous characters. Here it is. There's race swapped Galadriel and race swapped Gandalf. No, you're not Mazza. No one comes close to that level of short bus. I bet they did that because, God forbid, Asians are portrayed as a villain. Oh, the irony. Like, that is one thing that people actually complain about still to this day for Temple of Doom. The Chinese gangsters at the beginning of the movie. People actually, like, idiots. SJWs and so forth. Well, that's synonymous, pretty much. But complain about that even to this day, even though there are Asian gangs and mafias. Japanese Yakuza. All right? So... And Indiana Jones was in country. So why wouldn't there be bad guys who happen to be Asian? But people still complain. But people, I use that term very loosely when it comes to these fuckers, still complain about that to this day. Big Trouble in Little China. Yeah. Rush Hour, Asian Gangs, and Rush Hour trilogy. Majority of Jet Li movies have Asian villain. So they had Raceswaps, Shang Tsung. Yeah. I'm just saying, they still complain about it. They still complain about it. But anyway. Speaking with NPR's James Perkins Mastro Marino, the art director said, at any given time, we are surrounded by diversity. No shit, Sherlock. There are 7 billion people on the planet, not all of them are white. And it is our hope in this world to someday get along and come together despite our differences. He added, it is also a message from us to fans of all walks of life. You are welcome here. You have a place here. You belong. Well, let's see. Hold on. Let's fucking see to that quote, shall we? How many languages has Lord of the Rings? Wait. How many? How many languages? Open, you stupid shits. So let's 69, dude. Yeah. Let's look at this. How many languages? My internet is being so fucking slow today. I'm like just beside myself pissed. All right. Here it is. Let's just share this screen real fast. Real fucking fast. Translations of The Lord of the Rings. List of translations. All right, chat? Let's go through this. The number of languages into which Tolkien's works has been translated is subject to some debate. HarperCollins explicitly lists 38 or 39 languages for which the translations of The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings exist. All right. Basque, Breton, Bulgarian, Catalan, Chinese, simplified and traditional, Croatian, Czech, Danish, Dutch, Estonian, Finnish, French, Galician, German, Greek, Hebrew, Hungarian, Icelandic, Indonesian, Italian, Japanese, Korean, Latvian, Lithuanian, Marathi, Norwegian, Polish, Portuguese, European and Brazilian, Romanian, Russian, Serbian, Slovak, Slovenian, Spanish, Swedish, Thai, Turkish, and Ukrainian. Here it is, with the titles and so forth. Here it is. All these languages right here. So either way, it's either The Hobbit and or Lord of the Rings. But like those basically books kind of like they go together, right? So, but 38, 39 languages. 38, 39 languages. All right? I'd say people have been pretty fucking welcome to the fandom already. I have no idea. Or the triads, yeah. Going back to what I said earlier. I'd say from all walks of life, people have been pretty fucking welcome already. Just given the number of languages that these books have been translated to. So whenever the idiots running Amazon Studios, you know, remember that Jennifer Salk, that bitch, pretty much, that idiot's coming out and saying that wanted to reach a wider audience, and I'm like, I'm looking at how many languages that these books have been translated to, and I'm like, there's already the audience there. There's like, you know, needing to reach a wide audience because they needed the numbers, and I'm like, there's already the wide audience there. We've been here for decades. The only thing that you need to do is put together a respectful of Tolkien's property, but with good storytelling. And they couldn't even fucking do that. They literally had the audience there. Because we've been here for decades. That's what I call it. Trey, yeah, he didn't need a black guy on Lord of the Rings, but according to these people, you do, Trey, because you need to be represented. Okay, here's Black Aragorn and Black Eowyn. That is just, her hair is so fucking cringe. YouTuber European Lore reacted to these comments from Cartagena, saying, "So this is the same nonsense that all the huge companies have been talking about for the last couple of years. This is just a publicity stunt. This is just attention grabbing. This is just virtue signaling. Agreed." Agreed. He says, "I don't believe they are so stupid that they don't know that you don't need to make us unite. You don't need to unite fans. Fans have already been united before you came. Fans have already been united before the Rings of Power came. Exactly. We've already been united. Just looking at like how many languages they've been translated to. The Hobbit has like, in terms of popularity, it's like, second to the like Tolkien's books, second to the Bible. Pretty much, all right? Since 1937. 86 years. Since the Hobbits. And then pushing 70 years next year, 70 years next year, for the beginning of the publications for The Lord of the Rings. We've been here. You're fighting racism with racism, yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, they're not dreads, they're braids, but it looks pretty shit regardless. He later noted, "If you are a fan of something, you will naturally unite and bond with people that like the same thing as you do, and it is the most important for you in this particular context that the other person shares your hobby, shares your passion, shares the things that you like, and you're bonding over the things that you enjoy," which has been pretty much the definition of all fandoms since the dawn of fandoms. You are bonding over shared passions and shared hobbies. Hey, Teresa. So again, the fans, Lord of the Rings fans, have always been here. We've always been united over our love of the texts, over our respect for Tolkien. We've always been here. And Teresa, you're just jumping in. I basically went through a list of all the languages that The Hobbit and or The Lord of the Rings has been translated to. 38, 39 languages. We've been here. See that? Look at that picture. That's Eowyn. Look at that picture. It's horrible. Never mind the race swapping. Look at the fucking hair. That is horrible. Even Irish. That's Eowyn. That's Eowyn. He would go on to address the race swapping. "As a literature aficionado, I am all about staying faithful to the source material, and there is another thing. All this changing characters into something that they are not. Those groups of people that they are changing the characters to, that the characters resemble those groups, you are actually insulting them by this. I've said this, and I agree with this." What he's saying right here. By this, you are saying the group we are trying to pander to, you are not good enough to have your own main characters, to have your own and original characters, he opined. We have to change our superior characters and lend them to you. We have to make cheap knockoffs of the original thing that people have loved for decades. We have to change it to something inferior just to please you, peasants. This is exactly what these companies are doing. They are insulting those groups. And I've said this, and I wholeheartedly agree with it. That's what companies that do this are telling the groups that they are pandering to that group is not worth the time or even effort to even come up with anything original. That they are going to go the lazy route, take a white character, slap some black paint on it, pretty much, put it out there, and call it representation, and tell that group that to thank the company for that because they are giving them the diversity they've been wanting, and so forth. That's what they're saying to these people. That's what they're saying to these people. They are saying, be thankful. Be thankful. You unwashed masses. We are giving you what you asked for by being lazy. and calling it diversity and calling it representation. That they're not even going to bother coming up with original characters or even bother adapting actual existing black characters or other minorities such as Latino or Asian. They're not even going to bother doing that because those characters are out there. Those characters are out there, but they're not going to bother do that. No, it's easier just to basically blackface existing characters. And say, don't bow down to us, peasants. We are your white saviors. And normal people all around the world, they realize it and they reject it. I will always go for originality or something sort of a knockoff. Yes. Marvel came out with that New Warriors didn't even hit bookshelves pretty much, but the New Warriors. That thing was cringe and stupid as fuck, but at least it was original. At least it was original. Yeah, Spawn movie, yeah. Born of the Wind. Well, there's Gimli there. Black Aragorn there. Alright. Okay, so Magic the Gathering previously justified the race swaps, blah, blah. I went into this in another video. I'm not going to go into these quotes again, because they talk about diversity and originality. Meanwhile, you look up Tolkien, and the concept of originality is right there. But here's this quote right here. One of the card's set designers, Justice Geddes, a self-proclaimed queer trans writer. Okay, explain to me what the fuck queer trans is supposed to mean. What the fuck is a queer trans? It used to be that people got conquered to have their history and stories changed. Now our enemies come from within our education system to dominate us. Yeah, pretty much. You know, I'm looking at Snoop Dogg as a wizard. Yeah. But what does queer trans mean? Anyway, noted. My main contribution to this contemporary reimagining, there it is. They literally came out and said that that's what they were doing. Is a contemporary reimagining of Lord of the Rings. See you, Teresa. Have fun. Was to consistently push for a diverse Middle-earth setting that stayed true to Tolkien text. What? A Middle-earth that was not only had humans, but elves, dwarves, halflings, orcs, goblins, orcs, urukai, dragons, spiders, and so forth. I mean, that's not diverse enough for you? That's not diverse enough for you? Apparently. So fast I can't catch up. Yeah. Queer trans. Pay attention to me. My parents didn't love me enough, and now I demand your devotion. Yeah, pretty much. And if you don't accept reimagining, you're racist. Yeah. Doesn't queer trans cancel itself? I'm saying, like, I have no idea. Ents. The walking trees, the Ents. That are actually not just walking trees, but sentient beings because they talk. That say true to the Tolkien text. No, it doesn't say true to the Tolkien text if you're basically inserting this into it. I guided continuity and lore checks, focused on character and society details, and applied primary source material to our work. You are lying through your fucking teeth. You're lying through your fucking teeth. Either that or you're retarded enough to believe your own stupidity. And this is Glorfindel. They race-swapped Glorfindel, an elf prince. Now, for those of you who do not know who Glorfindel is, or what is in the book, in Fellowship of the Ring, it's not Arwen that essentially comes to the rescue during that scene or whatever, pretty much. It's this character, Glorfindel, an elf prince. All right? And there's no dramatic chase or anything like that. You know, that was I'm not saying that as a negative for the film. I'm just saying like they did that to embellish the scene, to heighten the tension and so forth. Right? But there was really nothing like that. Pretty much Glorfindel comes, aids Aragorn and the halflings, all right, sees that, like, Frodo has to get to Rivendell, because he's wounded. Sticks Frodo on his horse. He's Glorfindel takes Frodo, sticks Frodo onto his horse, slaps the horse's backside, and the horse takes off to Rivendell because horses are smart in Middle Earth. They're smart. The horse knows where to go. That's how it happens. That's the character Glorfindel. He's essentially important, but at the same time, I understand why he wasn't he was taken out of the movies, because that's pretty much all you really see of him. That scene and maybe in Rivendell, but for the most part, you don't really see him much after that at all, right? But that's his role in the books, and he's white, right? He's fair skinned. Why is his hair blonde if he's black? Well, here, for that question, what about her? They made her hair blonde. That picture looks horrible. They made her hair blonde. Same thing with, they made Galadriel's hair white, which was so fucking stupid. All right. But there's that. So they are defending this shit. Where is the barber in Middle Earth? Well, that's what I would like to know, because he had some good fades going in Rings of Power. Yep. The characters that I know that are race swapped are Aragorn, Eowyn, Galadriel, Gandalf, and Glorfindel. And then they took the Asiatic-looking characters and the Easterlings and made them white. So where there was actual diversity in Middle Earth, they whitewashed that race. Go fucking figure. Go fucking figure. But there it is. Anyway, last article. So I'm going to close that. The Bounty on the comic sites and the translation site. So I can go open this tab. I'm not going to go into the entirety of the article. But just the fact that the gamer is taking Final Fantasy 16 to task because they didn't do queer representation well enough. You can't please these people. Here it is. So, again, I do not care if the characters are gay. I really do not give a fuck about the character's sexuality as long as that's not the foremost characteristic of said character. I do not care. But Jade King is saying it could have been better. It could have been better. Yeah, they pretty much said that. They pretty much said that, yeah. Willow from Buffy, yeah. I would say she was more bisexual, but yeah, she was basically queer rep, essentially, before it was cool. They're never happy. Exactly, they are never happy, Hassan. Making Bahamut gay was a stroke of genius, but his queerness isn't pushed far enough. It isn't pushed far enough. We should have had a butt-fucking scene, folks. Not pushed far enough. Okay, what the hell does that mean? Final Fantasy XVI has multiple gay characters and even a side companion with a deep trans allegory tied into their very existence. Square Enix doesn't beat around the bush or attempt to conjure up falsehoods when it comes to queer characters here. Everything about them is explicit and deliberate, with lore descriptions going so far as to describe key characters of the same sex as lovers. There is no entertaining other interpretations, and that kicks ass. Alright? The first piece of representation is a small conversation between a soldier and a male sex worker within the military town of Northreach. A soldier tells his lover that he's afraid of the coming war and won't be able to join his partner later that night due to a lack of coin. It's a small, meaningful interaction in a game of thousands like them, but the queerness at the center of this is immediately normalized in a franchise where it so often isn't. Here are two men who just happen to be in love, and they're living out their lives like everyone else. Now, I don't know the Final Fantasy IP, but I imagine that this is not exactly the first time that anything like this has been broached. I can't imagine this is the first time that anything like this has been broached. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, no point of having it if the story's a piece of crap. Okay, I read that. While you stumble across a handful of minor queer voices throughout Final Fantasy XVI, it is a more secondary element of storytelling than anything else. So, that's not the point of the plot. They're not the primary focus. It doesn't factor massively into Clive Rossfield's own adventure as he acts little more than a curious eavesdropper. Things change when you meet Dion Lesage, however, the dominant of Bahamut and royal defender of the Crystalline Dominion. He serves the crown and is obedient to his father, but comes to realize that forces operating in the darkness are twisting the allegiances. Hold on, my mom's calling. Sorry about that timing. She was asking about the appliances. All right, but to answer that question, that's the birdcage. That's the birdcage where Robin Williams played a gay dad, and Nathan what's his name? He voiced Timon in The Lion King, played the partner. But that was the birdcage. All right, anyway, moving on. Okay. Twisting allegiances of a kingdom once protective of its people, now it seeks rule of Valisthea, no matter how many casualties pile up as a consequence. Dion, as a soft little fruit, isn't too chuffed with rampart genocide. Poor choice of words there. If Dion is soft little fruits, poor choice of words. Anyway. The Holy Empire of Sanbreque is renowned for its knights and dragoons, with Dion almost considered the polar opposite of Clive Rosefield, a prince with near unlimited power and the willingness to do terrible things if it means approval given from those above him. Loyalty can only push a man so far, however, and when he's asked to summon Bahamut, even if such an act costs both him and his kingdom dearly, it all proves too much. This revelation is partially spurred on by the presence of his royal squire, Terence. The first scene the two share... Okay, so Terence... Hold on. Okay, Dion. Okay, it's Terrence and Dion. All right. So, yeah, poor choice of words there. I told you it would. I told you you'd remember it. I was like, "Have you watched that?" And Trey's like, "No." And I'm like, "You should. You won't forget that ending." But anyway, okay, so Dion and Terrence. You watch it if you want to watch. It's part of a trilogy. You don't really have to watch the second or the third necessarily, but I'm just going to warn you a little bit. Don't say anything, Trey. Damn it. But the ending will stick with you. The ending will stick with you. I'm not saying don't watch the second or the third. I'm saying you don't need to watch them necessarily. Because Sleepaway Camp could have been a one-off. So Dion and Terrence. So Dion and Terrence kiss. The homosexuality contained within is nigh unmistakable, and I have to applaud Final Fantasy 16 for making one of the most powerful beings in all of Valisthea a gay man. Blah, blah, blah. After the kiss, we watch them silently value one another's company before the drama picks up once again, with Terrence rising to protect his prince, despite being far less powerful. Well, I just want to get down to where it's like this bitch says it could be better. All right. But sadly, Final Fantasy 16 even questions this heavily transcoded story, which is, I think, up here. Oh, look at this. Clive assumes he will be meeting a woman when first stepping into Dalamil, and even corrects his use of pronouns after seeing Lubor in the flesh. Okay, Lubor is an infamous informant and a desert hare who previously worked with Sid decades earlier. A classic case of othering and being deceived. But Lubor is otherwise accepted without question after this misunderstanding is swept under the rug. But sadly, Final Fantasy 16 even questions this heavily transcoded story. His final quest puts a nail in the coffin of this theory, but the way in which it is written is undoubtedly transcoded, and it seems like a missed opportunity to not tie this reclamation of an identity into Final Fantasy 16's wider themes to see multiple characters defy fate and take back control of their lives. That alone resonates with me as a trans person. Yeah, make it all about you, bitch. Again, it's not enough. It's not fucking enough. It's not enough for these people. It's never enough. It's never enough. Everything is coded. Yeah, everything is coded to these people. I have no idea what the fuck that means, Trey. But there it is. It's never enough for these people. It's never enough. But I'm going to call it here. I'm running like a couple minutes over. Partly due to starting a bit later than I normally do, and partly due to my mom calling me during the stream. But anyway, I'm going to stop sharing my screen. And there's the topics that I chose to cover for this solo stream. I'm going to try to do another solo stream next week, and then I don't know if I'm going to be able to do one on the 7th or not, because I need to message my two brothers, because on July 7th, the 5th Insidious movie comes out, The Red Door, and I'm trying to get my siblings, namely my brothers, to get back to me to see if we can do a siblings hangout that day, because I know they kind of want to see it as well, and I'm just trying to get a straight answer from them. My brothers are the worst at getting back to me. Sometimes for one of them, I have to go through my sister-in-law to get an answer, because she gets back to me, but my brother doesn't. But anyway, thank you again for hanging out with me. I will be live on Kick in about 20 or so minutes. I was originally going to play Dead by Daylight, but I'm really tired, and it's just easier to jump into random lobbies with X-Defiant versus dealing with rando teammates on Dead by Daylight and having to concentrate on surviving a killer right now. So I'm going to try to play it next Friday if I'm a bit more awake. So that's the plan. But anyway, so about 20 minutes, tune in. So I'm just wrapping up Shaka Zulu. Hope you enjoy the replay, because I'm gonna be live on Kick in about 20 minutes. You want me as your brother? Well, apparently, yeah. But anyway, so I'm wrapping up here. Sent you a friend invite on Ubisoft. I'll see. I'll check that out when I open up Ubisoft Connect. All right, Jacob Watts. But I'm gonna try to see if my dog has to go out, and then I'm gonna jump on Kick and play some X-Defiant. So thank you all for hanging out with me. Hope you enjoyed me going over the cringe. But can't really go a week without some form of cringe. But anyway, take care, everyone. Have a good rest of your day or evening, depending on where you are in the world. And yes, X-Defiant is fun. It needs more work, in my opinion. It needs more work, but it is fun. It's not a COD killer, but it is I'd say a decent substitute. It is a decent substitute, and it is fun. So take care, everyone. Again, good rest of your day or evening, depending on where you are in the world. And I will see you all next time. Peace.
You're still here? It's over. Go home. Go.